Hello, students, friends, and fellow YouTubers in the BookTube community. It's Coach Stroud, and this is another riveting episode of Coach Stroud's What to Read While Quarantined. Yeah. In this episode, I kind of want to piggyback off of my last episode where I was talking about Carrie. But before I do so, I want to talk to you really quickly about liking, subscribing, sharing my videos. Sorry about that. If you've watched any of my YouTube videos in the past, you'll see that my YouTube style is a little bit different. It's just, I just put the camera up, or my phone actually, and just start recording, and whatever happens, happens. That's the way I like to do it. I like to keep it very simple. So if that's something you're interested in, like and subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. You know, it's no big deal. Today I'm coming to you live from my classroom. Yeah. I teach, right now I'm teaching 8th grade social studies, and I absolutely love it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe one day I'll give you a tour of the classroom or something like that. But I want to piggyback off the last review I did, which was on Carrie by Stephen King. Now, if you watched my last video, you'll see that I gave a very basic review of Carrie. You know, just talked about the angst that she has, the problems that she was going through. I talked about how zealous her mother was and how she got picked on a lot. I left certain things out of the review and left it kind of vague because I don't want to give away too much of the story. I think that's half the fun is reading and discovering things. I feel like some reviewers out there give away too much of the plot. But that being said, Carrie, again, wonderful book. I hope you read it. But what got me thinking is, as I was rereading Carrie, there's a line at the end that talks about how Carrie and her telekinetic powers might have some government influence, or some influence from the government later on. And that made my mind go, even though I've read this book before, I've listened to it, I've seen the movies and stuff like that, I totally... It connected to another story that I read not too long ago, and that is Stephen King's The Institute. Yes. The Institute is a fun story, or fun in my opinion, about it basically has two main characters. One is a cop named Tim Jameson, and another one is a kid with telekinetic abilities named Luke Ellis. And how eventually their paths will cross. Now, Tim is kind of a cop that he's seen some hard times. He had a really tough situation happen in his career, and that led to him having to move on from his job and facing a lot of scrutiny. And then him going to this small town. And then Luke, on the other hand, is a kid with telekinetic powers that wakes up one day in his room, except for it's not completely his room. There's a few things that are different. And it turns out Luke has been kidnapped and placed into the Institute, where he meets other kids that also have telekinetic abilities, all on different levels. The story goes about basically talking about all the tests and tortures that these kids with their TK abilities and what they face, and how they respond to it, what happens to them, and then ultimately what the government does with it. And that right there, what the government does with it, it took me back to Carrie, that last couple pages of Carrie, where in the trials transcripts, they talk about how the government might actually play a hand in some telekinetic occurrences or happenings, or needing to know more about it. Now, I did a little bit of research, and let me first tell you that Stephen King often, like pretty much all of his books are in the same universe. So I immediately connected the Institute to Carrie. But I did a little bit of research, and I found that a lot of other people have connected the Institute to the book Firestarter by Stephen King as well. Now, I personally have not read Firestarter. It's not on my TBR list. Maybe it needs to be, but I haven't read it, so I can't comment on that. But I believe that the Institute is actually a very, very thin-lined sequel to Carrie. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to interpretation. Again, King puts a lot of his stories in the same universe and connects them in many different ways. But in case you want to know, The Institute was a good read. I very much enjoyed it, and I loved how the two main characters eventually get connected together. Tim Jameson, the small town cop, and Luke Ellis, the kid with TK abilities, how they get connected together. It's a good story. I highly recommend it. It's don't let the big book fool you. It's a very good, very quick read in my opinion, because the story is just so interesting. So give it a look. Give both of them a look if you'd like. I enjoyed them greatly. Again, send me your comments. I love the comments that I'm getting. And I will get to answering them someday soon, hopefully. I'm very busy with teaching and whatnot. But anywho, you guys, I hope you're doing well. I love you. I miss you. And to all my friends and fellow YouTubers out there, what's up? And take it easy. Bye.